Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Your Life, Your Money. I don't have to talk about the utility or the necessity of investing in mutual fund. All of you have seen mutual funds EI campaign. Mutual fund like bank FDs has become well accepted with each and everyone now. However, what I see is there is a lot of mistakes which happen when you build a mutual fund portfolio or when you pick up the mutual fund schemes. In this episode, I am going to talk to you about the different categories of mutual funds which are available to you. I restrict myself to equity funds and the hybrid funds and how effectively you can use them to create a great experience out of your investment journey. This is NRI Money Clinic for you, and I am Dr. Chandrakant Bhatt, your financial guide for a happy living.
NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
Are you a NRI living outside of India for more than 10 years? Have you dreamt of a retired life in India in a beautiful house and a lifestyle of your choice? Your dream can come true only when you take some simple and effective actions today. I will take you through a step-by-step process to make this dream come true in my webinar, Stress-Free Retired Life in India. Hello, I am Dr. Chandrakant Bhatt, financial guide and founder of YouTube channel NRI Money Clinic. I have to my credit creating secured retired life for thousands of NRIs spread across more than 60 countries. If you have an intention to make your dream retirement come true, register for my webinar. More details are in the link below. Let's imagine a situation. You are very hungry, you want to eat something. Now you fill your plates with only the sweets, or you fill the plates only with that bland rice, or you fill the plates only with the green vegetables. Do you like that meal? Why am I asking this question? The simple reason is when you build your mutual fund portfolio or when you choose your schemes, probably most people do this mistake of picking up these mutual funds in a way which is not beneficial to them. How do people pick up the mutual funds? They will look for a Google ranking, they will ask their friends, and they think what's in the fashion, and they go and put money into the mutual funds. This is a sure way of creating a disaster or a suboptimal outcome from your investment journey. Let's take a real example and see how we can build this. One, your mutual fund portfolio should be like a balanced meal. When you have a meal, the meal has a purpose behind it. It should give the required amount of energy, which is your mainstay. That is the purpose for which you eat that food. It should have enough proteins to build your muscles. It should have enough fats for the fat-soluble vitamins to be absorbed. It should have enough of concentration of vitamins to make sure the bodily functions will happen normally. It should have the fiber to keep your gut health intact. So the various aspects of ingredients have to be combined together to reach this objective of having sufficient energy, protein, fats, vitamins, and the fiber. Take the same example for your mutual fund portfolio and create a balanced meal. Do not create a tilt towards one or the other side. So what ingredients do we have to create this balanced meal of mutual fund portfolio? Let's look at the different funds which are available to us and try to understand a little bit about them. The first is the large cap funds. Large cap funds are something like your rice and rotis. When you have a meal, most part of your meal is the rice and rotis. So does when you build a mutual fund portfolio, a great amount of concentration should be there in the large cap funds. If you look at the investment universe, most of the market capitalization is in the large cap. The institutional investors come and park their money in the large cap funds. It's a widely accepted place where people come and park their money. So most of your money should go into it. What's a large cap fund? The SEBI describes a large cap fund as something which invests in 80% or more of its assets in the large cap funds. A large cap is described as the top 100 companies in the investment universe which is available in India today. So if you park your money, one thing is very certain, you will not have disappointment. The funds will do well over a period of time. But this alone cannot create a satisfaction for you. So what do? You need to have other ingredients. Let's look at the other funds now. A mid-cap fund. A mid-cap fund is something like a protein. It has a much higher rate of return than a large cap. This is what the data says. However, it has its drawbacks. It wobbles a lot, it moves up drastically high, it may fall down very sharply down. All problems are there. When you overeat your proteins, sometimes you feel dull, and if your kidneys are not functioning normal, then it can put pressure on your kidneys as well. So when you invest in a mid-cap fund, make sure that you don't fill your plate only with the mid-cap funds. You have a limited exposure to these mid-cap funds. The main part of your investment universe should be the large caps. So what does the mid-cap funds constitute? Mid-cap funds are something which invest 65% of their money or more in the mid-cap segment. Mid-cap stocks are described as something which is 101 to 250 large-sized companies which are available in the Indian investment universe. Now let's look at the third category. So you have filled your plate with your energy, you have filled your plate with the proteins. Now comes the tasty part. That's the small caps. The small caps resembles like that dessert, the payasam, the ice creams, that sweet that you like. That's small caps. They are very tasty. Imagine a situation, because it's tasty, you overload your plate with the desserts. What happens? Then you may become a diabetic, or it may have other health issues which may come in for you. So when you use the small caps, use it with caution. Yes, they give a high rate of return, but they have their side effects too. When the tide turns down, or if it is not favorable, they get down badly beaten, and you may not feel comfortable the way they are losing money during a bad market run. So do have small caps in your portfolio. However, do not overload it. So what does the small cap fund is made out of? Number one, more than 65% of the funds which are available in the fund should be invested in a small cap stock. A small cap stock is the one which is 251st and below in the investment universe in India, the available companies which are not categorized as large cap, not categorized as mid cap, everything below that will come under the small cap segment. Now, using the small cap, mid cap and the large cap, you can create a portfolio of your choice depending on how you want to go about it. But these days, there are people who want ready-made funds. You want something which is readily available, or chopped vegetables, and you have cooked dal and you want to mix it. So there are different other kinds of funds which are also available in the marketplace for you to build a mutual fund portfolio. By the way, if you are confused and you don't want to do all these things, you want professional assistance to build a mutual fund portfolio, you don't have to worry about it. We have service for providing you the mutual fund portfolio. You can make best use of our services. If you have an intention to invest in a mutual fund portfolio which is scientifically designed, which is managed for risk, which gives you decent inflation beating returns without compromising on the safety of the capital, you should be using our services for mutual fund investment. How can you reach out to us? Very simple. Our numbers are given in the description box below. We have also provided a link over there. Go to the description box, click on the link. It takes you to the WhatsApp. Just write mutual fund or MF, and one of our experts are ever ready to help you to create that beautiful mutual fund portfolio for you to reach your life goals. Why delay? Send that message right now. Now let us look at some of the ready meals which are available. Number one, it takes me to the multi-cap portfolio. And multi-cap fund is something which has all the three caps I discussed earlier: a large cap, mid cap and the small cap. They must have minimum of 25% in each of these things. It is like a doctor describing a meal, telling that it should have so much of an energy, so much of a protein, so much of a desserts, and it is pre-mixed into it. That's a multi-cap fund. So there is not much of a elbow room for the fund manager to change the composition to violate these norms. They must have a minimum of 25%, 25%, 25% in each of the caps. You can always make best use of it. There is also another category of fund which is available for you. That's called a flexi cap fund. Flexi cap fund resembles like a chef's special meal for you. The chef can prepare it according to the season. You know, all vegetables are not available during all seasons. So he will use the items which are available for the season. He can change the composition according to the season, and he can prepare a special veg curry or a special non-veg curry for you to enjoy the meal. That's a flexi cap. A flexi cap has all the three categories built into it. It has large cap, it has small cap, it has the mid cap. The difference from a multi-cap to a flexi cap is the fund manager does not have a boundary condition. How much should be there in each one? The fund manager can take a decision based on his judgment about what's happening in the market, the heat of the market, the opportunities of the market, and he can prepare this meal, ready-made meal for you. A flexi cap therefore resembles like a balanced meal prepared under the expertise of a special chef called the fund manager. So when you are investing in mutual fund, you also have special meals available for you. For example, somebody says, I don't want a small cap, but I want to invest in a ready meal which is devoid of small cap. You can pick up large and mid cap fund. In such a fund, the fund is made out of only the large and the mid cap. So you can be sure that you are not exposing yourself to the small cap. That's available for you. You can also say that I want to invest in a focused group of stocks, which is called the focus funds. A focus fund is a fund which is not fixated on any particular cap. However, it restricts the number of stocks it invests into it to a number of 30. It resembles like you tell a chef, this is what I like, and prepare a meal out of it. And with the limited amount of stocks, he builds a focus fund. That's a focus fund. A focus funds, when it is done correctly, can give you a very good rate of return. If the fund manager errs on that side, focus funds can also take out the required diversification and can veer off the mark. That's a possibility when you use a focus fund. Mutual fund industry also has funds which can cater to your individual needs. Let's imagine that you are in winter and you feel like eating a mango dish. This is called the Contra fund, which is of the season. Nobody wants it. Those funds are not doing very well, but they have a great potential. It's just that it is an off season. So during an off season, you invest in this fund. This is called a Contra fund. What's the advantage of a Contra fund? Contra fund is something which is available to you at a very low valuation from its internal valuation. So you can pick up these funds. In fact, if you pick up the Contra funds in a proper way, they can give you a very high rate of return. But nobody wants to touch them because people look at the Google rankings. The ranking says this is a laggard. This fund is not doing well. So people join the bandwagon. Contra funds are left behind. A great way to kick up returns in your portfolio is to have at least 10 to 20% of the money in the Contra funds. You just have to give it the time. It's a cyclicity. They will not be permanently down. We have seen in sectors like banking, pharma, IT, every sectors will go through a period of favorable situation and unfavorable situation. When they go through an unfavorable situation, they become the Contra buys. So when you buy Contra, that is the time where you ride on the full market cycle of these stocks, and that's where you make good amount of money. Just because it's Contra, just because Google does not give you a ranking on this, do not neglect this. Have some exposure to the Contra funds as well. In your final analysis, final outcome, they will play a very excellent role for you to enjoy that investment journey. There is also another category of fund called the value funds. So the value funds depend on value investment strategy, which means the fund managers will pick up the stocks which are undervalued. So he's not worried about the momentum. He's not worried about the large cap, mid cap, small cap. And they will focus on the value metrics of a particular stock and create a fund out of it. This is also a good strategy for people to invest in. But the value funds will not perform all the time. When the market conditions are very good, that is the time the value funds will perform very well. In the last bull run, you saw how the value funds made good amount of money for the investors. Value funds are again seasonal, but great funds for you to invest in. Therefore, you should be very careful about the exposure control you should have for these funds as well. These resemble something like a salt or a spice. When you add it in the right proportion, the meal becomes great. You add more or you don't add them at all, then the meal doesn't taste the way it should be tasting. So don't spoil your meal by under adding them or over adding them. Then you have the sector funds. Sector funds are the ones which will invest into particular sectors: IT, manufacturing, capital goods, pharma, banking, overseas investment. Anything could be a sector. These resembles like the exotic vegetables or the exotic fruits. They are not available. You should like its taste. You should know how to use it. You should have a recipe to use that. These are the tricky funds to invest in. I would best suggest you avoid them because one, you should know when to enter them, you should know when to exit them. Otherwise, you pick up sector funds, then they will come back and badly bite you. Sector funds are particularly meant for those seasoned investors who know the market movements very well, who track the markets, who understand the dynamics of individual industries. Such people can enter the sector funds and they will enter at the right time and they'll exit at the right time. But for the general public, it's best avoid these sector funds. These resembles something like a bitter ingredient in your meal. Mutual fund industry also has another category of funds called the hybrid funds. Hybrid by name suggests that it has multiple things in it. It is not restricted to equity. A hybrid fund has equity in it, debt in it, real estate in it, currencies could be there, commodities could be there, international exposure could be there. The hybrid funds by nature invest into different asset class as described in their offer document. The two hybrid funds will never be similar. Hybrid fund is a very broad terminology. You need to be knowing what it invests in. There is one great advantage of using a hybrid fund. Hybrid fund diversifies your risk. At the same time, it will also minimizes your taxation because when the fund manager changes the composition of the fund from debt to equity, equity to debt, or change in exposure to different things, then if you do it through the help of different funds, then you are required to pay the taxes when you rebalance the portfolio. However, when the fund manager changes the composition within the fund, he is not required to pay the taxes. So a hybrid fund is a great tool for you to minimize your tax incidence during the rebalancing. Likewise, hybrid funds are very useful also to manage your risk of investing in a mutual fund. There are different categories of hybrid funds which are available. For example, you have a balanced advantage fund which dynamically adjusts equity debt composition according to the market movements, market going up, coming down, it will automatically adjust. Again, two balanced advantage funds are not similar. Each fund manager, each fund house uses them in a different way. You have conservative hybrid funds. The conservative hybrid funds are the ones which will invest in equity at a rate of not more than 25% in their portfolio. Rest of the money could be held in the debt funds. You also have the natural hybrid funds which will expose 60% of your money into equity, 40% into debt, or a composition which vary from this according to the the fund manager's mandate which is there in the fund. So hybrids are great funds for you to invest to reduce your risk, to choose funds according to your risk profile, to minimize your taxation during your rebalancing. This works very good. That takes me to the last category of funds, which is also a hybrid fund, but it is becoming popular by the day. It's known as the multi-asset fund. It is also a hybrid fund. The only thing here is the investments are not just restricted to only debt and equity, but here the investments are made across different asset classes: equity, debt, gold, real estate, currencies, commodities, international exposure. This is a great way of building a mutual fund portfolio. Multi-asset funds are evergreen, but these are something which is new in the market. We have to just see how they are going to perform, how the judgment of the fund managers will work out in the long run, because the multi-asset funds are riding a wave of a good equity performance as well as a good performance on the part of the gold. If one of the asset classes backfires, we do not know how the multi-asset funds are going to perform in the long run, but nevertheless, conceptually, multi-asset funds are the great funds for anyone to invest. You can just invest in a multi-asset fund, or you can take multi-asset fund as one ingredient in your balanced meal and you can build a meal around this. Multi-asset funds are something which every investor should look and have in his portfolio. Dear viewers, Hope the video I have done today helped you to visualize how you should carry out your mutual fund investment by building a portfolio of mutual funds which resembles like that of a balanced meal. From here onwards, do not do the mistake of picking up funds looking only at the Google ranking or a Morningstar ranking or what your friends and relatives have to say. Apply a logic every time you invest in a mutual fund. Get that picture of balanced meal in front of you and build that mutual fund the way I have described till now. You have nothing to worry about the outcome of this exercise. And again, repeating, if you need our services, we are ever ready to help you on that. Hope this video helped you to understand the simple way of investing in mutual funds to reach your life goal. If it helped you to understand all these final points, do give me a thumbs up, do share the videos with your near and dear ones, friends and relatives, and on all the WhatsApp groups and social media where you are connected with. Thank you very much for watching this episode on NRI Money Clinic. I shall be back with you next Friday with another topic on your life, your money. Till then, stay safe. Jai Hind.
Press the bell icon for more details and subscribe our channel.